Geez, how come every time a character becomes cool, it leads up to them losing an eye? Too soon? Too soon. Hey there, before we start, special thanks to today's sponsor, Quid. Quid is the awesome app where you can collect digital trading cards, stickers, and Funko Pop toys of your favorite shows that we cover right here on the Roundtable. Steven Universe, Rick and Morty, The Amazing World of Gumball, and more. Have a habit of slapping stickers onto your notebooks, laptop, and fridge like I do? One of my absolute favorite parts of Quid is collecting stickers and putting them all over text messages. I promise, your friends will still love you afterwards. More info on Quid later in the video. Available for iOS and Android. Link in the description. Welcome back to Mewni Mayhem on the Roundtable. Good lord, tough love. I knew this episode would be an emotional roller coaster, but those last 3 minutes had me speechless. The entire episode I just felt nervous, awaiting the grand mother and child reunion between Eclipsa and Meteora. How it would go down, how will either of them react? And honestly, I couldn't be any more satisfied. I always envisioned this moment occurring under calmer circumstances, being a lot more heartfelt and relaxed. Instead, we got the exact opposite. Their encounter for the first time in hundreds of years arises from Meteora being on an absolute rampage, ravaging kingdoms, sucking the souls out of innocent civilians, growing exponentially in the process. It's disturbing stuff. Especially when you remember this is someone who's on a mission to take the throne of Mewni. You want to lead the people you're essentially massacring? That's messed up. I do find it amusing that she was dubbed as the true Bog Beast of Bogaba, since many fans, friends included, thought that the episode would be centered around her, that it may be the title she earned growing up around monsters before having her memory erased. I stood by the notion it wasn't her, but in a roundabout way, I was wrong and I was right. Also, Meteora's soul-sucking ability is spot on to what Toffee demonstrated in the Season 2 finale, combating the magical High Commission, complete with victims floating in mid-air afterwards. I think we can safely say this is the same ability, which is important as we know the solution to this dilemma. After Eclipse's plea to Meteora goes awry, Moon goes toe-to-toe with the human monster hybrid. Having Meteora on the ropes and on the verge of defeat, Moon was intercepted by a terrified Eclipsa, who, while she didn't want to hurt Moon, she wasn't going to stand around watching her daughter's demise either. It's very ambiguous what Eclipse's motives were in this moment, if she was trying to disable Moon or flat out kill her. What's also important in this scene is the callback to Eclipse's line in Total Eclipse of the Moon, where she states she never learned how to do magic without a wand. Here we see Eclipse dipping down, subconsciously and assumably for the very first time, tapping into magic without the use of a magic wand. It wasn't that she was lying, she just hadn't encountered a desperate situation that backs her into a corner, demanding to call upon that magic until now. Thus, she wasn't thinking if she was going to kill Moon. Her body was just moving on its own. At the very least, the goal was to incapacitate her, as Moon's scarred hand does bring a burning sensation. Enough of that feeling, she would have backed down. At the most, it would have been lethal. Still, either outcome wouldn't have been intentional. After all, Eclipse does demonstrate concern for Moon very soon, but we'll get to that. Seeing Eclipse intervening as an opening, Meteora struck directly at Moon and my jaw dropped. Everything goes white, the sound cuts off. Eclipse, now on the ground, looks up and sees an unresponsive Moon. Crying out for her name, Eclipse is met with the look of a rather shocking Moon. One-eyed filled with the exact same twinkle that previously fueled both of Star's eyes when she tapped into her butterfly form. However, once she gained control of this form, her normal irises replaced these twinkles. The other half of Moon's eye was completely blacked out, just like when her soul or magic was sucked out of her previously by Toffee. Startled and off guard, Moon opens up a portal and flees, only for Eclipse to discover Meteora has fled as well, likely on her way to take the throne of Mewni. And this begs the question, where did Moon go? And to be frank, the answer is obvious, and was shortly after confirmed in the season finale promo. Moon, or at least her body, fled to the realm of magic. When the Magic High Commission was drained, sucked into their soul by Toffee, and Lekmet was no longer around to revive them, Moon brought the out-of-commission Magic High Commission to a magic sanctuary and revived them, reviving them with none other than pure magic that stemmed from the realm of magic. Considering as Moon's body was most definitely acting on its own, it did not make sense to go to the sanctuary, but rather straight to the actual realm of magic to be properly taken care of. However, I do not see this ending well. Even if Moon's physical form is fine, her mental state is what's going to keep her away from the story for quite a while. First off, how do we know that Moon's body is acting on its own? That she is not the one in control? Well, this is where we call back to the episodes Sweet Dreams, Nightlife, and Deep Dive. A little mini arc in the show that was centered around Star getting control of her butterfly form, which at the time I thought, what does this have to do with the overall plot? But now it makes a lot more sense, as it was setting the foundation of what will happen to Moon. After initially awakening it during her battle with Toffee, Star began to tap into her butterfly form during her dreams, unconsciously opening up portals throughout a multitude of dimensions. For a while, Marco and Hecapoo were closing these portals, until Marco's duties as Star's squire got in the way, causing a little breakup of sorts between Marco and Hecapoo, even if they weren't an official thing. But that's tea for another time. Again, at this point, Star's eyes were filled with little twinkles, stars in her eyes. And it was portrayed as sleepwalking, meaning she was not in control. But one thing was for sure, all these portals had an end goal in mind. Star's butterfly form, the magic within her, was trying to get to a certain place. This place was, ding 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 ding, the realm of magic. However, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. After reuniting with the magic she created, taking the form of a unicorn, Star slowly began to lose control of her mind. The magic began to corrupt her. She didn't remember her name, her mission, her being. She just wanted to stay with the magic. It was too much for her. It was only until Marco intervened, reminding Star of who he is, who she is, did Star snap out of it, departing ways with the realm, and by extension, her creations. Again, another quick thanks to today's sponsor, Quid, the overly addicting app where you can collect digital trading cards, stickers, and Funko Pop toys. You won't find these in stores, they're only on Quid, including some smash hit Cartoon Network shows, Steven Universe, Adventure Time, Gumball, and that's just scratching the surface. Ever watch a show and think to yourself, this would make a great trading card game? Well, Quid's read your mind. There's so many trading cards to collect. There's tons of freebies, but you typically buy these with coins, which you get thousands of every few hours just by logging in. Now things can and will sell out on Quid, especially the really cool ones. They're much more valuable, but if they do, that's where trading comes in. If someone out there has something you want, you have something they want. Put on your business cap and negotiate. We're on the app as well. Username is AwestruckVox. Quid is available for iOS and Android. Links in the description. Now back to the show. It was coming to her senses, having an iron will and becoming stronger than magic itself, that allowed Star to tap into her butterfly form at will, having complete control of it. Thus, her eyes return to normal when in butterfly mode. Yet I think a mixture of Eclipse's paralysis and Meteora's attempt to steal Moon's soul caused Moon to lose control of that form, to no longer be mentally stronger than magic itself, which makes sense, as she was in the butterfly state when struck. Now, as we see from the promo of the season 3 finale and its synopsis, Star will become acting queen. But as it turns out, she's much more rejecting of the role than I thought she would, determined to find her mother and bring her back home. Yet, even if Star is successful in this, I don't think Moon will be eligible to have the throne in some time. Star is not like Moon. Just because she overcame the magic does not mean Moon has. And really, let's think about everything Moon has gone through this season. Being manipulated and bested by Toffee, the man responsible for killing her mother, being powerless to stop him as he took Star's life, and very easily overpowered her, Marco, and Buffrog. He didn't even want to bother with Moon. If it wasn't for Star herself coming through, recreating her body out of magic, and coming back into the physical living realm, she would have been gone for good, and Moon couldn't have done anything about it. Then there's Eclipsa. Moon's monster prejudice and assumptions against Eclipsa were wrong. She spent all this time convinced Eclipsa was evil, that she was not to be trusted, only to learn the Magic High Commission, the people who were in her corner, and by extension, the people she trusted and rooted for, ended up being the bad guys, swapping out Meteora with a peasant, lying to the butterfly family for generations. Imagine arguably not being rightful heir to the throne, that your entire family history was a lie. That would really mess with you. All of this led to Meteora's fight against Moon. I think Moon will feel vulnerable that she let this happen to her. And once she is restored in the realm of magic, 1, she'll be there for way too long. Remember, Star was only there briefly and already lost her mind. Just imagine how attached Moon will become. And 2, all these failures and reopened wounds, despite her age, she'll want to run away from it, to escape reality and not face the truth. I'm sure Star will come to her rescue, realize what's going on, and be unsuccessful in bringing back Moon. Why? Because Moon will be too far gone. And with Meteora on her way to Mewni Castle, getting closer and closer by the second, Star's running on a tight schedule here. She cannot spend all day in the realm of magic trying to plead with her mom. I don't peg Star as somebody who would just give up on their parent, but that's a tough situation to be in. She won't really have much of a choice at all. And let's say alternatively she does bring Moon back, that she snaps Moon out of it and drags her back to Mewni. Even after the Meteora conflict is all said and done, everything I said earlier, everything that's happened to Moon throughout this season will still ring true. And if anything, letting herself succumb to magic, to be corrupted by light, that'll just make things worse. And because of that, Moon will back down as queen, at least for a little while, feeling that Star would make as a better ruler than she would. Moon's gonna lose her confidence, and hard. And it's all due to too much of a good thing. Hell, I'm starting to see why Toffee wanted to destroy magic. But this is where I turn the conversation to you guys. What do you think? How did you feel about the episode Tough Love? Do you agree that magic is going to corrupt Moon? That by the time Star finds her, it'll be too late? Let's get a conversation going in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts directly to me at AwestruckVox, or at the Roundtable on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. If you want to help us grow, become a member on Patreon. Get access to exclusive updates, our avatars, scripts, and so much more. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, stay in the loop with all things Star. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox, out.